Beautiful day. I'm telling you, it's a nice 72 degrees in the city of Detroit. Everyone is out and about in various outfits and costumes. You know how we do when it gets warm. We like to, I guess, unveil. We like to unveil everything we've hidden during the winter months. Now, for some, it should still be a secret. Listen, we have a great show today planned for you, and we're so glad that you took the time to join us today. You know, it's a very special day. It is in the city because it's the first day of May, and you know, on the first of the month, everyone is excited. Everyone makes plans to do things differently over the next 30 or 31 days. They kind of, we kind of just like set ourselves to try to refresh ourselves and to do something different. We evaluate toward the end of the month. Some of us do. And what did we do during the month of May, or should the month of April? How can I improve on what it is that I do? Improving on my personal life with my husband or with my wife, or improving on my family life with my children, siblings, parents, aunts, and uncles. What am I doing professionally? Can I improve myself with my job, with my educational goals, with my career goals? The first always symbols a new beginning. Always. And we really should take that time to reevaluate what it is that we do and how it is that we do it. Listen, I want to let you know that the chat is open, and you can definitely chime in by going right to the chat room there and being part of talking to, because we love to have you on, and we love to hear and to read your comments and what you think and how you feel the way you do. This is a very big day in the African American religious community. It's First Sunday, and I don't know if maybe you've gone to a First Sunday service, maybe not, but this is the Sunday that most people, Baptists especially, they dress in white in commemoration of the pain and the suffering that our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ went through during his trip to Calvary, or to his journey to Calvary. And we have communion. And in some instances, there are also chances to give testimony of God's goodness and his greatness and everything that he has done for you. What is it that makes you grateful? Hmm? I want to know, what is it that you're grateful about? There's so many things, so many people are going through challenges and situations and conditions, and we get off centered and we don't know what to do many times other than complain. However, even in, as church people say, you going through, we should always find things to be grateful about. We should be able to always put our eyes or our hands on something and say, yes, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I have a job, or I'm grateful for my talent. I'm grateful for my eyes being able to see. I'm grateful for my hands being able to touch feel. Well, you might say, well, Rufus, what about someone that's blind, that may not have eyes to see, but they have other things to be grateful for? If you notice, a lot of times, if you see someone that is sight impaired, very rarely do you see them being humdrum or mean or evil or despondent to what's going on in society. There's still a certain upbeat about themselves. And so regardless of whatever it is that you may be experiencing, health wise or anything else, personal or professional life, you can be grateful. We have to learn how to be grateful. We have to learn how to be thankful. And we have to learn how to be appreciative in every moment, in every moment, in every moment, and in every moment. And in this moment, we would like to say, good afternoon, Joanne Tosin Fuller.
Good afternoon, Rufus. How are
I'm
you?
great. How are you?
Great, great, great. Yeah.
That is good. I was racing the clock today.
I don't know what's going on today.
I don't know. I don't know
It's just
either.
one of those days.
Right. And you know what? It's so funny, Joanne. This week, I thought about some things and I said, I'm going to start breathing in terms of when things may happen, good and not as good, to be able to breathe and inhale and exhale because it'll change your whole demeanor.
Yes.
And
yes.
as I was coming home and my phone went dead, I said, uh-oh. Then my computer wanted to update. I said, really? I just said, let me stop and just breathe and catch my breath. As my friend Pamela Johnson says, get myself together.
Was that just Musa? It's like, okay.
That Musa. There it is right there. There it is right there. So, Joanne, as you know that we have, listen to us, we have sent, well, we have not sent, but Justin is at the NAACP dinner today. And yes, and he's going to be giving us an update, if not today, next week. And I told Justin, I said, well, make sure you take a snack because from the time that they say dinner is served, dinner really is not served.
No. I've been to many, I'm shocked that I missed it, but I've been to many, and I'm telling you.
Yes, they at the blue section or the green section or the yellow section. You're like, what about the purple section?
It seems like I'm always the one that's sitting in the last section.
Me
for
too.
Some reason. They started their dessert way over there. Already.
Right. And you haven't had the first entree.
Yeah, I hope he's having a good time. I wonder who the speaker is this
I
week.
don't know. I should have insisted that he kind of give us a little a preview of what is to come today, but he was getting himself together, and but maybe I'll be able to look that up. Maybe I do dual work and look that up to see who is the speaker for this year.
Yes. I'm surprised I missed it. I'm just.
And this,
of course, with COVID, I guess they didn't have them the last two.
They didn't have them the last 2 years.
Okay, and that's why I'm like off.
Right.
Filter, I guess.
Exactly, because it's usually always the fourth Sunday in April.
Right.
But I didn't really hear a lot of advertising for it.
I didn't either on the radio or anything. I haven't heard. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's just interesting. But I know people are going to have a great time because they really Detroit comes out in grand style and fashion.
Yes, they do.
But for the NAACP,
yes, they do.
Freedom Fund
I'm telling
dinner.
you,
they do it. In fact, it is still the number one, the largest fundraiser, Freedom Fund dinner in the country. That's one thing that we're going to do here in the city. We're going to dress and we're going to eat.
Isn't that the truth? But you know what? I like that it seems as if we're getting back to dressing for things, especially for special things.
Exactly.
You know, I like that. I like to dress up. I want to dress up and go out and feel special. I do. I miss that.
I do too.
I miss that.
And you know, it's something where as soon as the workforce decided to start the casual Fridays, it just seemed like it went across the board everywhere and everything that you did. Oh, it's casual, you know, and it is good to see people dress. And
yes, it is.
Because, you know, when you dress, it does something to your psyche.
It does. Mm-hmm. It does. I think it makes you feel good. And I hate to say it, it makes you act nice. I mean, you know, there's a different air about,
yes, it is,
about you and about people when they're dressed and when they're, you know, in their finest. It's just a different atmosphere too.
And,
and
the attitude is like, who are you talking to? And don't let it be winter and somebody have on a fur.
Girl,
you can forget it.
Coats and them. Oh yes. Look, guys and the ladies.
Right, the guys and the ladies.
Excuse me.
Popular on both sides.
Yes.
Definitely. So how has your day been?
It's been good, relaxing. It's been good. It's been really good. Yeah, enjoying the sunshine, the weather.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I wanted to get out and ride this morning, but it was raining this morning.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't do is ride in the rain.
You said there's no need.
No, thank you.
I was downstairs in my basement earlier, and I saw my bike over there in the corner, tucked there. Almost behind the Christmas tree. I said, what you doing way over there?
Because it's where you left me.
Put that over there.
And how long ago was that?
Probably when I said to you, I'm going to come riding last summer. I think I got on it. That's so much true. I was riding still and rolling right over on that.
Oh, we need we need to meet up at Belle Isle or something.
Yes.
Right around Belle Isle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That one day, make that a scheduled thing one day this
summer.
I
know. That would be so much fun because, you know, whenever you post your pictures and you're off the water, it's so serene and so relaxing.
It is.
The waves are going.
Oh, my goodness.
I said, man, she makes it look so inviting that you don't even realize you're exercising.
And that's why I take that route, either going or coming. I take that route, Lakeshore Drive.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's just so relaxing. People are out there walking and jogging, and there are other riders out there, and
right,
it's really nice.
Yes, yes, and yes. So this past week. I made a post about being verbally assaulted, and I don't know where should I start with that. So I was pulling up on the driveway, not the driveway, on the parking lot, and then there was another car coming this way, and it was across from a school, and I was going to the school to handle take care of business. And so as the parent is driving, I see her roll down her window and she just talking and she talking and she talking. And I said, is she talking to me? But my windows were up. And so she let out her child. And so then she lets her window down more and she's really talking. I said, she's talking to me. So then she pulls around to the driver's side and she's doing like this for me to roll down my window.
What?
I said, lady, I'm about to get out the car. Now, you don't know me, but you're about to get to know me.
I'm about to introduce myself.
And for some unknown reason, why did Joanne's words come to my head when you said that? If you don't have something nice to say. I said, get out of my head, Joanne. So I get out of the car. She said, you don't care nothing about these kids. Look how you park it. This is the walkway for the children. You don't care about that bye kids.
Wow.
I wasn't saying anything because my mind was just somewhere else. And I closed the door and she's still talking. So now she has her head out of the window and she giving me the business. She talking. She said, and what I'm going to do is put you on Facebook and blast you and talk about how no good you are. Now, by this time, I'm walking away, getting ready to go into the parking lot of the school where she should have been. I'm on the parking lot of the Dollar Tree right there,
Okay.
8 Mile and Shader, where the old art van used to be.
Yeah.
Where,
yeah.
So, that art van is closed. The only business on that side is the dollar store. Well, it's 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. and nobody is at the dollar store yet. So it's me and her. So anyway, as I'm walking away, she said she's going to put me on blast on Facebook. That's when I turned around. And I reached into my pocket. And when I pulled out was the bottle of my cologne. It was my cologne bottle. What I was trying to grab is my phone, but that cologne bottle came out first. And I don't have it in hand's reach. But on the tip of the bottle is a big silver cap. Well, the bottle of the cologne was in the palm of my hand. So I went into my pocket and it just came into my hand, but I'm pulling it out to get ready to go back to pull my phone. So all she saw was that tip. So I guess from where she sat, it looked like a weapon. At that point, when she saw that, she said, you know what? I know you saved. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, praise you, Jesus. You're saved. I know you're saved. You're a good guy. And her car is easing off. She said, I just want to tell you I'm sorry and have a great day. Hallelujah. I was like, really, lady?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Now, mind you, this is after she cussed me out. She went into her praise chant.
She better be glad it was you, but you know what? Nowadays.
Right.
Why? Why did she feel like she had to
do all
come
that
on you like that? For real. Why? If there was nobody else in the parking lot, you weren't blocking anything. You weren't
doing anything. She didn't like the way she said, you need to be parked that way. You're parking toward this way. You see the lines going that way. Ma'am, does it even matter?
I hate to see her in person. If she's that controlling with somebody she doesn't know, I'd hate to see how she really is with her family and friends.
When her daughter got out of the car, whoever she was dropping off, she was like, good luck. That was the expression on her face. She was like I'm out. I'm out of here. Your turn.
She must have been having a bad day that day.
Obviously, because she saw my bottle top. She got it together quickly.
Because you know what? People are crazy these days. They really are. They really are. And I'm just glad that she saw your bottle top and went to praising the Lord.
Right. As opposed to pulling out her bottle top.
Versus pulling out her.
Because I'd have hit the ground.
Hers wasn't a bottle top.
Wait, Joe, I'd have been doing that.
Look, I thank the Jesus for that.
Definitely. But it when I thought about it later, I thought about the interview that we had with Dr. Kim Logan, and she was talking about bad behavior and how people get so emotionally off.
Yes. Nowadays, it's at the drop of a hat,
a drop of
a I mean, oh my goodness, yes.
And we have to really, really be conscious, not even of ourselves, but of other people, of what they might be experiencing.
Yeah.
You know how they always say you have to drive for you and the other driver. Now we're at a point where we have to think, for the other person that we may come in contact with.
Right.
Because it's easy to just go off, but it's harder, more challenging to think first.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And take it back, and everything is not personal.
No, it's
Like you
not.
say, like, and some people are just going through their stuff, and either they're not paying attention sometimes, or they're not, whatever, for whatever reason. And so we do have to just kind of take a deep breath, swallow, and think about things just for a little bit, just for a moment. Those few seconds can mean so much.
So much.
Yes.
And what are we doing, and where are we going, and that is so important that we have to just become unhinged. Yes. Because if we're late, we're late.
We're late.
It's nothing we can do about it.
Where are you going so fast? And it's sad because then I see you sitting at the next light with me.
And you've done all the twists and the turns.
At the next light with me. It's definitely. Like, oh, come on. Yeah. And now you see them where they're going through red lights. Isn't that crazy? I just saw it yesterday, and this truck sitting and looking both ways. And when he finally saw that it was clear, he just went on through. Like, okay, that was a stop sign. It wasn't a stop sign, sir.
It was a light. It was a light.
It's just in a hurry to do what? In a hurry to go where?
Right.
We're just so on edge, it seems like.
And really, I can't even put my finger on it. I mean, because, okay, with the pandemic, the work situation, it's really nothing that's going on at this point that we should not have adjusted to.
Right.
Imagine if we were living in Ukraine.
Oh my goodness.
Where these families are just uprooted
and just, they're hiding in subway stations, and oh my goodness.
Yes.
It's sad. It's
very sad.
But for the grace of God, there go I.
For the grace of God, there go I.
But for the grace of God, because we don't know.
We don't know.
And man, oh man, as much or as little as we think we have, if we were in that situation, just think. We have to be grateful for all that we have.
Yes, we do.
And right now, be grateful for our freedom. Be grateful that we're not living in our own war.
Exactly.
In the United States. Yeah.
I think it's so easy, and I was saying prior to you coming on about gratefulness and being appreciative of what we have. And I wonder, Joanne, if it's because of how time has progressed and how we've been fortunate to have things, material things, cars, more so, not so much cars, but maybe computers and iWatches and things that we never had before now. And now we think we're entitled to things, but we still don't want to be thankful for what we have.
Right. But can you have and I was listening to you earlier, can you have a entitlement attitude and a grateful attitude at the same time?
No. I don't think so.
No. So if you feel like you're entitled and I'm supposed to have all of this, then to me, you can't be thankful for what you do have.
What you do have.
Because you're so, and then you have that entitlement attitude, which a lot of people that have the attitude, it seems like they want more and more. So yeah, I got this, but so-and-so has that, so I think I should have that too.
Yes.
They're not supposed to have more than me for whatever reason. But yeah, that entitlement attitude that's going on now is just, and where did it come from?
I don't know.
How did that? I have to look sometime and think, did I do that to
right?
My child, or to because I know parents, especially if you grew up without, lot of times you try to give, and if you've had the education and the resources and all of that to give your children more than what you had,
You have.
but and I understand that we want our each generation should be better and better.
Exactly.
But did we do too much
Mm-hmm.
that now these generations have an entitlement attitude?
Entitlement attitude. Even as young as 4 and 5, I've seen the children complaining about their phone is not the latest iPhone. And they don't want to use that phone, and because it's like
Mm-hmm.
I've had little kids in the choir complaining.
And this phone is too slow, and it's
Yes,
not da, da, da. Well, first of all, you better be glad you have a phone
a phone.
when you 8, 9, 10 years old. Because who you calling
Who
talking
you
to like that?
calling?
What business do you have? Now, if you have, I
Zero.
mean, there are some 10-year-olds that got some businesses going on. They've got some good stuff going on. But
Yes.
guess what? Most of them are not.
You're right.
So
You
you
were
should
so
be
right.
grateful to have. But yeah, you're right. They want the latest, the greatest, and who's working?
And who's working?
Who's
And
paying for it?
and that always amazes me, because when I hear parents say, "You ought to be glad you got that, da 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 da, this, that, and the other," but you're buying it. And I don't know, because I'm not rearing a child and all of this technology and all of things that make them feel complete and whole.
Right.
But I think you have to educate your child, or
Mm-hmm.
at whatever age, of the sacrifices
Right.
that
You
are
need
made.
to let them know.
Yes, because an iPhone at the cheapest is 600, and little kids 10, like you said, 10, 12, 9, walking around with these phones. Parents are trying to make adjustments to accommodate the child,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't want the child to have whatever self-imaging problems because their friends have it. I would care less. You gonna get this Metro Cricket, Howdy Doody, and my number is the only one in here, and it's a minute phone. If I had to, if my child, if that made me feel secure, where I could get in touch with my child.
Right. Right.
But all
I'm
access to
not
YouTube,
paying all that
Facebook,
money
or
for
TikTok,
all
I'm
that
not.
technology that they're
I
not
don't want to pay it for me.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. My phone has to die before I get a new one. And that's just me. I'm not one that every time a new iPhone comes out, oh, now I got to get it. No,
You have to get it.
that's never been me. But
Right.
I mean, do I want my phone to work? Yes, but I use my phone for business, for a
business.
whole lot of stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah,
There's purpose for your phone,
yeah,
but for most children, it's not.
right.
If you're just tuning in, this is Talking To, and Joanne Toasted Fuller, and I am Rufus Bill. Justin is attending the NAACP Freedom Fund dinner tonight, and we're gonna get an update probably next week of what he saw and what was going on. And you're more than welcome to join in the chat, and like and subscribe, and tell your friends about it, about what we do every week at 4 o'clock p.m. 3 dynamic perspectives from 3 dynamic people, and it's something that you can learn from each of us, from our perspectives, and it's a great mesh of information, and a great mesh of people, Joanne, Justin, and Rufus, that can bring to each other as well as to you great topics that are relevant, and make you just kind of think, because we've gotten away, Joanne, from us just thinking and
Yes.
using our mind. Um, I thought I would never be in a position to say, well, when I was a child, we didn't have this and we did this. But those years before technology as it is today, I had to depend on my imagination and my
Yes.
creativity to do whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I remember talking to somebody a couple of weeks ago. I said, I always wanted to be a businessman. So had created. I had a desk in my room for my homework. Now I wasn't doing that. I got a stapler remover, file folders. Uh,
Hey.
I had a phone for my secretary, and I was playing the boss. But it was that imagination that I had to do that, that a lot of us, and when I say us, I mean adults,
Mm-hmm.
have forgotten about or never have really tapped into of thinking and creating in your mind
Yes.
of goals and things that you want to accomplish in your personal life and in your professional life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we should get back to, at least, especially with the children, giving them a minute to draw, um, to write. When I was at that school, and I was looking at some handwriting samples of the fourth grade, and I looked backwards E's, upside down A's. Then I said, well, let me take into consideration that it could be, what is that, uh,
Dyslexia.
dyslexia.
Uh-huh.
And I said, not all these.
You say not everybody in the
Not
class.
everybody.
Yeah.
And I said, these kids around here twerking and wearing the finest of shoes. And I'm not saying that they were writing sentences. This was their names.
Yeah.
Scribble scrabble.
Yeah. And it's sad that they've taken some all these life skills out of the schools, especially public school system. It's so
Mhm.
sad, so they don't have handwriting anymore.
They
Well, we call
certainly
handwriting cursive writing.
right.
Remember, you print or you wrote.
Or you wrote.
So they don't have the cursive writing anymore. They don't have home economics anymore. So you don't even know the basics of putting on a button,
Mhm.
sewing up a hem if you're a seam, basics of cooking, workshop. They
Right.
don't have some basic skills. How to
Skill.
hammer a nail. Something comes out of you living somewhere and you need to nail something or do something.
Right.
So a lot of these basic skills they just took them
They're
out. I call
lacking.
them life skills because
Yeah,
those are
and
life
they
skills
are. And they
that
are.
they just took out of the schools, and
Mhm.
it scares me because it seems like they're really trying to dumb down our kids.
Joanne, I agree. I
For some
agree.
reason, they're trying to. Because when I talk, I remember, and I wrote a check at a store, and yes, I do still write checks.
Me too.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't feel so bad. But and the girl was like, "Well, what is this?" Literally, she could not read what I wrote.
No.
So I'm like, "Well, that's you know," and I'm like, and it was a lot. I didn't want to make her feel bad. I said, "Well, that's just how much it is, and that's my signature." And I felt for her. I really did. I felt
Mhm.
for her. I was like, "Oh my goodness." So that means you didn't have handwriting
Right.
or cursive writing, which means you can't read it.
You can't read
But
it.
when you go somewhere to sign your signature,
You're right.
or you've never had to sign your signature before, because a lot of things still say
Require.
print and then signature.
Uh-huh. It does.
I just think that they're doing this on purpose. I just
You know what, Joanne? I am inclined to believe you.
And then the
And
math, they're changing this math
mhm.
that 5 + 5 + 5 is not 15
Right,
anymore.
15.
It's like some 25 or 30 something. And I'm like, well,
How does that work?
how do you just change math? How do you just, they call it new math. How do you
Yes.
just change all of this stuff? It's sad.
It is very sad, and what is worse is that the parents, especially, are not noticing because they're into whatever it is that they're doing.
Right, right.
When I was talking with an educator, and the educator said, "Well, when we have PTA meeting, the people that come are the ones that don't need to come. The people that should be there are busy or doing whatever, working." And I get all that,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're a single parent, mom or dad, you're trying to keep some type of level of stabilization
Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
your household. But oh my God, don't ignore these
Can't negate.
children.
Yes, you cannot negate the fact that your child, they need you, and they need you to show up at these meetings. You need to know what's going on with
Yes,
your
you
children.
do.
You need to know. You need to know.
You need to
You
know
need to, and that is one thing that they will remember when they get older.
when they get older.
When they get older, is the support they've had from family. Like you said,
From
and
the
I do
family.
understand. When you have to work, when you have to, you can't take off. I do understand. I understand all of that,
Yes,
but at some point, you should be in communication with the teachers.
with
You
the
should be
teacher.
knowing what your child is
Mhm.
doing in school. And I hear it from educators that are clients of mine who parents don't want to know. Why are you calling
Right.
me? And it's
Right.
like, these are your children. Yeah, I might have them, and it's really true that the school probably has them more and spends more time with them than some parents do.
Mhm.
But these are still your children. This
Yes,
is
it
not my
is.
child. I teach your child, but they put all that responsibility on the school.
Right.
Usually
And
school's first and church second, and then home third. When it
third,
actually should be the opposite.
the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? What is terrible is that these children are going to be adults, and they're not going to be able to blend in or to be able to make their mark in a society that requires you to be able to read, to be able to write, to be able to use critical thinking skills,
Yes.
to be able to have good interacting skills with other people.
Yes.
And if these skills and these tools are not nurtured when they're supposed to be, they're going to become an outcast,
Yes.
and they will be
That's so true.
forced to go into certain vocations and certain jobs
Right.
that will not bring in substantial income or revenue,
Or that will, but it's not the job you want them to
or
have.
or exactly. You're right about that.
Yeah.
I was talking to one of my choir members in 13 or 14, and he said, "Well, I just don't see the need to put a lot of effort into school." I think he's a 13. Are you ninth grade or 10th grade? I think you're like 10th grade, maybe.
13. Probably, yeah. Probably either
Yeah,
ninth or 10th,
ninth or
depending on
10th.
where you fall. Yeah.
And so I was taken with that comment, but I said, well, why do you feel that? And he said, well, that education is what the man, 13, is what the man said we had to do. He said, I can go make a quick $2,000-3,000 on the internet. I said, doing what? Well, I don't know. I said, well, then how do you know you're going to make $2,000 or $3,000? He said, because everybody's doing it. I said, no, everyone is not doing it. I said, and those that are doing it, they can read, I'm sure. They have some sense of something, of whatever it is that they're doing to get a stream of income. They have some kind of awareness of how to achieve that goal. I said, now you, on the other hand, I said, at the very least, you don't have to go to college, and maybe
Right.
it's not your thing that you want to go and get a trade. I said, but at least get a high school diploma. I said, your parents would be so grateful. Just you need to finish high school.
Hmm.
I said, do your parents have a high school diploma? Oh yeah, they do. I said, well, at least get that. And then at that point, you decide, well, maybe I want to go further. Maybe you're not a university student. Maybe
Right.
you're a community college. I said, but you want to have something, as they people would say, fall back on. But you
Right.
want to have something that with some kind of foundation.
Hmm. So true.
Joanne, he was looking at me like I was talking Martian. He said,
Wow.
"Oh man, that's back from the '80s."
Education is back from the 80s.
Education is from the '80s.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
That you know what, that is so sad.
it
It's
is.
so sad, especially for our people, the struggle we've had to get an education. To,
Yes.
you know, and you hate to, and I shouldn't say you hate to, but it's people look like they get tired of you bringing up the struggle that our ancestors had to go
Mhm.
through. But you need to remember,
It's
somehow
important.
we need to remember, and that's why I say we need the storytellers, we need the people to still be talking about this, because it's not that far back.
It's not that far back.
For me, it's only three generations
Yeah,
back. Two. So it's really, it's not that far back
at all.
that we had to fight to be able to get an education, fight to be able to, you know, they want to kill you, hang you if you knew how to read.
How to read.
And then to read, I mean, you could read, but if you didn't comprehend what you were reading, that's not, now that's another whole,
That's
that's a different
that's a
level.
whole other thing.
And
It
so
is.
that's why I say I think, to me, they're dumbing our children down on purpose,
Mhm.
on purpose. And thank God for those who even in the midst of difficult family life, difficult life period,
Yes.
times and stuff, that they want something better for themselves. So I see these young people who are really striving and pushing themselves to do better, to
Mhm.
be better, you know. So, but I feel for the ones who just feel like this is life, this is it,
This is
this
it.
is all I'm, hey. And as
This is
long
it.
as I either get the government check or
Right. Or
the
some other kind
the dope check, or the that's cash, or the whatever. You know, but for real, the mindset is that, and it's like, I feel that you have to settle, that you feel like this is it for you for life.
Mhm.
That's
You, you know, and I've always said this, and people have said, well, Rufus, we don't agree with you. But I think, and I don't know what the studies are, but I think a person knows enough about themselves to say, I don't think parenting is my thing prior to children. And if by chance they're not sure and they get one, then they're like, that's not for me. And then they some with good sense will stop.
yes.
But when you're parenting, you're sacrificing you.
And you're supposed to.
And you're supposed to. You're supposed to.
And I have a lot of people who disagree with me, you know, because my theory is, first of all, God, all of God's creatures can have babies.
Yes.
So
That's
only
right.
the humans parent and raise their children.
You're right.
And so when you look at the animal kingdom, when you look at the birds that kick them out of the nest, okay, you need
Yes.
to, after a month or two, you got, look,
You
you
get out
get
of
up out
here.
of here, and they literally push them out if they don't see that they're
Yes.
going out on their own. You see the animal kingdom, who they teach them and then they leave them.
And
Some
leave
of
them.
them leave them, you know, and it's like, okay, well, you're on your own now. See you when I see
Right.
you, if I
Little
see you, you
cubs.
know. And so, but God created humans to parent and raise our children.
Mhm.
And so, stop having babies if you don't want to raise
If
children,
you thank you,
because they're not baby dolls.
they're not.
And they're only babies for a hot
A
second.
hot second.
A hot second. And stop having babies by everybody you date.
Please do.
Stop. Stop. Have more self-respect, have more
about yourself.
about yourself, especially our women. I just feel for our women who have just like, it's just like, what, and is everybody, it seems, not everybody, but it seems like a lot of ours, and I'm speaking as a woman looking at
Yes,
other
of
women.
course.
Come on, stop, because that child is looking to you. That child is innocent. And so
Mhm.
you see now these preschoolers and grade schoolers, especially the ones who have parents that just had a baby, and now
Yes,
you're not with the dad anymore. So you're mad at the dad. The child looked just like the dad. So you're treating the child like,
as such.
because you're mad at the dad because he didn't stay with you.
Mm-hmm.
And those days are over when you get pregnant and he's gonna stay with you.
She's gonna stay.
And every man that whisper in your ear, I want you to have my baby, all he's doing is notching his belt. That's it.
That's
Or
all.
notching that stick on the wall or whatever they
That's
notch.
it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Then you're not getting child support. Then all the frustration of that. Then it's like there are better things
To do
to do in life.
in life.
But if you have your children, that, like you said earlier, then that's your responsibility
Mhm.
to raise them.
To raise them.
And I see so many grandparents and great grandparents who are now raising
Raising it.
their grand and great grands because she just wanted to have a
There's
baby.
a lot.
Now I'm tired. And then I talked to young women who was like, well, shoot, I'm tired. But you chose this. I'm tired and I should be partying. I'm missing out on life and da, da, da. But this is what you chose. And when you choose, that's the difference between being a human
And an
and an
animal.
animal. You chose this, so now you have to raise this child because this child can't raise themselves.
No.
It's too much.
It
It's
is
so sad.
too much. I was driving. This is about the week that it was very warm, and I was stopped at the light, and the young lady, she could have been no more than 18, 19. She had a baby in a broke stroller, so she had to carry it lopsided because one of the wheels didn't work or was gone. She had she had two more that were walking. They were stair step, and then she was pregnant. And I don't usually get caught up of feeling a certain way or sad or anything like that, but that disturbed me.
Yeah.
It disturbed me, and of course, she was frustrated for many reasons, but probably mainly because of that stroller. She was hollering at the two, and then they were behind her. She can't see them because she's looking. Y'all back there? Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I said, wow.
And life is a struggle when you're by yourself.
When you're by yourself.
So when you add people who are dependent on you, when you add little ones who are dependent on you, it really makes that struggle even, it's Lord Jesus, that's all I can say.
Right. That's all you can say.
Yeah.
And when a lot of my friends were deciding to start families, some were married, some were not, both male, female, they were at a certain point, maybe when the baby got 14 months, 18 months, they're well vested in this rearing process. And I was going on living my life, doing what I wanted to do. And some of them would get upset with me and say, well, you got it easy because you don't have kids and you can come and go as I please. Yes, all of that is true. But
I made that choice.
I made that choice. I really did.
And you made that choice.
And you made that choice.
There's nothing wrong with that choice. It's just, okay. Like, I agree with you. I know people who have said, look, I don't want no kids. I am not having any. And they didn't. Or they had one and they was like, this is enough.
This is enough.
Or, so I do respect. If you decide you don't, then hey. You know, they are the people that I have people who say, well, we were put on this earth to procreate and all, you know, yeah, but if you don't, then why if you don't
Why?
want to? If you
Why?
don't want to. So yeah.
I heard
Which could,
Groucho Marx say one time. He said, "I like my cigar, but I like to take it out sometimes." You know I'm not gonna act right, Joanne.
I can take that. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Hey. Yes, yes. But life,
But
life,
life,
life, life.
but life, And then you think about this. So you, at this time and period that we're in now, so 2022. So you have a 5-year old, 7-year old, whatever, 15 years, 17 years. You got a thing where I think I want to send my kid to college,
Oh my
or I
goodness.
want to be able to provide that opportunity, or at least put that in my child's head.
Yes.
You're gonna want to either get a trade or
Yeah.
go to college or be an entrepreneur. Just don't let them just run fancy
Yeah.
free and think and make you think or make them think that you're going to be responsible for them for the rest of their
And
lives.
you're not.
And
You're
you're
not.
not.
The circle of life means that I'm going to be gone. So I need to, and I need to make sure that you do what you need to do so
Yes.
that if I'm gone or when I'm gone, because it's not if, it's when
It's
I'm gone,
when
you'll be able to sustain
to
yourself. Like I
sustain
said, each
yourself.
generation should be getting better. And
Yes.
so you should be able to sustain yourself. And
Exactly.
like you said, and then put in their heads and look at trade schools now. They're begging people they're looking
Begging.
for tradesmen,
Skilled.
tradeswomen,
Yes.
because everybody for a long time was trying to be a lawyer, doctor, the engineer, the engine chief, and nobody was going into trades.
For
So now
trades.
these places are looking for plumbers,
Yes.
electricians,
Heating and cooling.
carpenters, heating and cooling. They're looking and they're getting paid
And they're getting paid.
good money. I mean,
Yes.
good money. So
Yes.
I tell people, look, if you don't have to go to college. I'm not
No,
one
you
that says you
don't.
have to. But you need to do something.
Do something
And
to
that's what
take
my
care of
father used to
you.
say. You need to do something. And whatever you do, you need to be the best. You need to do it to the best of your
Your
ability.
ability.
If you're gonna be a street sweeper, girl,
You better sweep it
I
good.
get tired of that speech. But if you're gonna be a
Oh,
street sweeper, then you be the best street sweeper in the city of Detroit. So but do something.
do
Plan to
something.
do something. And that's where as parents we need to look at our children and see as they grow up where their talents lie,
Yes.
where their gifts lie,
The
and
gifts
and
are.
like you said earlier, get them off of these um, iPads and these
Uh-huh.
phones, and get them off and get them out doing things. Get them out in nature. Get them out because you just never know.
You never know.
You
And,
never know.
and that what you said was very prevalent uh, growing up. Parents would observe their children, and if they saw something, they would try to lead them in that direction. If they didn't see anything, then they would put them in various things. Well, you're going
Try
to
to
do
see.
this. Let's see what you
Yeah.
do there. Let's put you over here in a music class. Let's put you over here in a speaking class, or orating or something. Let's see, are you good with your hands? Because there was an interest there because they knew what the final result would be. You got to take care of yourself.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's find something now that I can see. Oh yeah, you like to tell everybody what to do. So you might be a good supervisor. Let's get you
Right.
good or a good
Right. That's
entrepreneur.
right. Mm-hmm.
I don't see a lot of it, and it's saddening.
It is. I
It's
was watching a story and it just made my day. Last week I was watching this story about this family in Atlanta, and they had, I think it was 3 girls. And so the parents decided, okay, this summer they're not going to be on the computer, laptops, they're not going to be on all this. We want them to find something to do. So they sat those girls down and told them, okay, I need you all to come up with an idea so that we can, something fun that you want to do. So they came up with making and selling popsicles.
Really?
So they're like fruit popsicles. They're all natural. I want to, Mogi Pops, Mogi. I forget what it's called, but and now it's the biggest thing in Georgia.
No.
So now they're trying to expand. And that's all they had the parents and the girls on there. And that's all they said, okay, we want you to figure out something to do. They started selling them like outside the house. You remember how you used to have your little lemonade stand?
Right. That's what I was thinking.
And they were taking them to, like, if they had a little sports thing, or they would take them, they started selling them. And now they say it's the biggest thing in Georgia. So now they're trying to expand from just a little summer project that the parents said, y'all not going to be in this house on these devices all summer long. Figure out something to do.
Outstanding.
And they weren't even teenagers. These were like little, I think the oldest at the time was like 10 or 11.
Really?
And then the other one, I think, is like 2 years younger. And the other one, like, she's about 3 or 4 years younger. But, yep.
And that's what you.
And I was like, wow, that is awesome.
That is awesome.
That is
awesome. Igniting that thinking, that think pattern that we have.
Yes. And now these little girls are entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs.
Basically their own business.
Yes.
That can go as far as they wanted to go.
They wanted to go.
Yeah.
And something what is it that we only use a certain portion of our brain?
They say only 10%.
10%.
10%.
Of all this big head. Only 10%
Some not even 10%.
Some not even 10%.
Wow.
It's unreal.
Can I get the 12%, 15%?
Right. If I get 12, I would be on and popping, Joe. You better believe it.
Yeah, I might put it down somewhere.
but the one thing that I firmly believe is that we are supposed to, in each day, search ourselves to improve ourselves.
Yes.
And if that is improving how our relations are with our kids, so be it. With our spouse, fine, family, but we're supposed to always be on the elevation mode.
Yes.
That consciousness, because years ago people say, okay, by the time you're 70, chill. But that's not the type of society we now live in.
No,
people are
not
still
at
working.
All.
People are retiring and then starting new businesses and being very creative.
Yes, at 70. Yes.
At 70.
At 70, yes.
At 70.
Yeah, well, when we were coming up, the lifespan was like 60, 65.
Exactly.
Now the lifespan is 85, 80, what is it? Between 85 and 88, I think they said the average lifespan. And we know people who are living 90 and 100 now. You see more people that are that are 90s and 100. But so at 70, that means you still considered middle age.
Middle age.
Still viable. Some people I know 70, and it's like, I need to do what you're doing.
What you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, and just I love these little stories though. And I just saw another little story. This man, he's 90 years old, getting ready to run a marathon. He didn't start running until he was 70 years old.
What?
90 years old for his birthday, he's getting ready to run another marathon.
Phenomenal.
But didn't start running till he was 70.
70. Now, who is thinking about running at 70? If you haven't run at 50, 40, you wait till
70.
That's fantastic.
So it's just, like you said, it's a mindset. It's that positive attitude. It's that, just, we know that life is not going to be perfect.
Right.
We know that things will happen. We know that there's a lot of negative in this world, but we have to choose on a daily basis to have a positive attitude,
A positive
to be
attitude.
thankful and grateful.
We do.
You know, and it's not easy all the time.
No, it isn't.
It's not, trust me, it's not easy all the time. But that's where I am in life, is that okay, I'm thankful and I'm grateful, even with the stuff that's going on all
Yes.
around me and sometimes with me.
Mhm.
But guess what? You know, God, you still good.
How about that?
And I'm grateful.
And I'm
I'm
grateful.
thankful.
And
Yeah.
I,
Hmm.
Joanne, you better say that. I some there is a gentleman who was in town this weekend. His wife made his transition, Reverend Waters Siegel,
Mm.
and the services were yesterday. And he's 84 years old. And we like to say to the family, on behalf of Talking To, we send you our deepest condolences to Warner and to
Yes.
Ivy and to Vanessa and Quadrant and all the sisters and brothers and Yolanda. But the husband, 84, working 2 full-time jobs. Not because he has to,
Because he wants to.
but because he wants to. He didn't want to just sit around after retiring 30 years, I think 40 years from Chrysler or GM,
Hmm.
and then went on into to different avenues. And like you said earlier, when Pastor Tosin, be the best whatever you're going to do. And obviously, he enjoys being up, out, and working.
Because that
And
was my dad, even from ministry, when he retired. He was like, "Well, I'm not really retiring. You know, what do you expect me to do? Sit down and die?" I was like, "No, that's not what we're." But because he was still doing carpentry work, he was still going to school, and I found in his paperwork he got a psychology degree. He was 80 years old.
What?
He had finished. Yeah, he had finished his degree, and I'm thinking, so he was still taking classes. So he was still doing a whole lot of things, even though we would say, okay, it's time for you to sit down.
Sit down.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to sit down and die. What? That was his mindset.
Mhm.
And I find that's a lot of people's mindset, that if I stop, then I'm going to really stop.
I'm going to stop.
I'm going to stop. So I need, as long as I have the ability, as long as I'm in my right mind and my body lets me move, I'm going to do.
Move.
And that's a good thing.
It is.
Really is. It's a good thing. Yeah.
And it's something I never think about retirement. Like we have come to know it, like you retired and that's it, and whatever. In my mind, if I'm not doing that over here,
I'm gonna do
something else.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, especially in the music industry, especially with the churches that I do. Now, I don't plan on doing that always, because times change, new people come on the scene, and I'm a very big advocate. Okay, you will come up and coming. Well, try.
Come on.
Bring whatever you have to the table and work that for as long as you can. I'm not gonna be like, no, I'm gonna play this organ and you have to take me off of it. No, I'm taking myself off of it.
But that's so true, though. And and people have to realize that just because it's different, just because people do things differently, but this outcome is the same, or just because it's different does not mean it's wrong. It's just that you do it differently than I do, and that's okay.
Yes,
it really is okay. But come on. I don't mind passing the baton.
Not at all.
God has for me is for me, and I'm in competition with no one. But I sure love to see people come up and do and express how they want to do the same job, say that I'm doing, in their way. So I know, I understand that. I really do.
When I look at some of my piano students, and I will say, now this is the way I was taught. This is the way I'm teaching you. I said, but that's not the end all be all. I said, because you might find a whole different way that's faster, that's easier, not as complicated. And I want you to explore that. It's just not
Right.
And when they're trying to dissect the music, I don't say anything to them. I let them kind of try to figure it out in their heads. And when I see that they're having a little difficulty, I will say, I suggest try it this way. Now you try it this way. What other way can you come up with that may not be that exact way, but that'll get the same result?
Yeah. So you're not one of those teachers that's smacking their hands
No.
because they didn't count right. I remember those days.
No. I hated those days. Oh my God.
Weren't counting. Oh, but look, but don't be like my son either, who I had him in piano lessons because I knew I couldn't teach him. I didn't have patience to teach.
Okay.
So he would come and say, Mom, I can't get this. I can't get. So I would sit there and play it for him.
Okay.
And he would play it. So one day his teacher called me in and said, I want to talk to you, and said, Rick is not reading music. He's playing by ear.
By ear.
And he's like, how, what do you see at home? And I said, well, sometimes he's not getting the count right or, something. And I would sit there and play it for him and count out while I'm playing. And then he would get it. He's like, okay, he's playing all by ear. He's following everything you're doing and he's playing it. And the teacher picked up on that.
Isn't that something?
Isn't that something?
It is.
Wow. I said, that's a teacher.
That's a teacher.
That's a teacher.
Yes.
But yeah, I remember those days when I was taking piano lessons. Oh, it smacked that little ruler.
My
that
Lord.
Nope. Or did they bang on the piano? I love my little metronome.
Right.
Yes. Oh, to try to help me to stay on count.
Well, my teacher, Mary Lynn Harris, she was my first. And she says, and my mother would be on the corner. She's like, when we get back in the car, she said, I knew you were in there practicing. Like, who said something to you, Mama? Too funny. Well, Joanne, we've had a great time today.
Yes. And as always.
As always. And I'm sure Justin is getting suited and booted and doing whatever he is getting ready to do. I think it may start at 6 o'clock.
I think they said 5.
Oh, there's 5?
Yeah, I looked it up.
Okay.
Well, 5 is
cocktail hour.
What we said, the dinner is expected to begin at 5. But the keynote speakers are expected to start around 6.
Okay. So
we'll see.
We'll push everything back an hour. Did you see who's going to be speaking?
I was trying to find out. No, it doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
I don't see it where it says it. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, surprise, but it sounds like to me.
You. I hate I missed it.
I know. Justin, now we're going to let you slide this week or this year.
Hey, yeah, bring us some good news.
Bring us some good news. Yeah, definitely. Well, and before we go, Mother's Day next weekend.
Next Sunday already. Can you believe it? And it's throwing a lot of people off because it's usually like the second weekend, but It's always the second Sunday. And so being that the first is today.
Exactly.
It's just kind of throwing because a lot of people didn't realize it was next weekend.
It was next week.
Yes, it's next Sunday. Yes.
So I know everybody is in great anticipation for Mother's Day. And have you got any plans yet?
No. Mother's Day good for me. I can woosah, relax. Because every day is just, and business has really picked up lately. And
good.
From the salon business to the event business.
Okay.
And then I told you last week I'm starting my own cookie.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so fabulous.
So just it's picking up. So I'm grateful. I'm thankful and I'm grateful.
How about that? You're deserving of every good and great thing that's coming your way.
Yes. You too. I sent you an email too.
Oh, you okay?
Sent it on Friday.
Perfect.
Let me know what you think about that. And
Okay.
look, so you know, with all this, nobody's talking about retirement, like you said.
Anytime soon.
Not anytime soon. As long as I got breath in my body and able to go, hey,
we gonna go.
we gonna go and
We
do.
gonna go. We'd like to thank everybody for listening. Ms. Smith here, Denise Beard Smith. Thank you for being part of the audience today and part of the chat. And everyone have a great day and a great week. And we'll be with you next Sunday on Mother's Day.
Yes. Peace out.
Joanne, have a great one.
Yes.
All right.